Hi, I'm Rob Duham, and you're at the Ridge Road Farm, and I'm going to take you through the steps of inoculating logs with shiitake mushroom spore. So I've been at it already. You can see a little bit of the logs right down here. I'm going to take a log, I'm going to drill it, I'm going to put the spores to it, and I'm going to hit it with the wax, and so you can see all the steps involved. I've got this cool drill bit that's mounted onto my angle grinder, which really speeds up the process of drilling the holes. And I'll just show you the steps and walk you through it. Eye protection is important. This thing cleans wood chips all over the place. We'll probably hear the rooster a fair amount because he hates me. Hates the sound of my voice. But I cut these oak logs right here on the property over the past couple weeks, and so they're still pretty fresh and nice and green, just the way they're supposed to be. And we drill a series of holes about 6 inches apart down the length of the log, and then we'll rotate it a little bit and drill another series offsetting them, creating a diamond type pattern as they move down the log. Okay, that's the quick part. That's the easy part. This thing takes care of that job, no problem. So I ordered the adapter and the drill bit from North Spore. They're right here in Maine. Definitely worth the investment. So, now that we've got our holes drilled, the next step is to inoculate the log with the mushroom spore. So here in this bucket, I have the sawdust spore. It's already been inoculated with the shiitake mycelium. And I have this wonderful little plunger, which also came from North Spore. Watch their video. It's they're professionals. I'm just a goofball out in my yard making mushrooms. So anyway, pack the end of the plunger like that. Set it over the hole. Push the plunger down. I found if you give it a little twist like that, it leaves it depressed nicely in the hole, which works really well for when you go to put the wax on it. The wax likes to stay in that nice little divot, and boom, you're done. So, let's see how fast I can do this part. Now I watched their video at least a couple times, maybe 3 times, 4 times, I don't know. But I noticed he always pushes the plunger down into the spore, 1, 2, 3. And really, it's effective. It gives you a good solid full pack in the plunger. But seriously, taking the second to to rotate the plunger around in the hole definitely is worth that moment in time. This is the slow part. But when you're doing this part, you got to think to yourself, boy, those shiitake mushrooms are going to taste so good. And if I do all this part right, I'm going to be able to harvest my own shiitake mushrooms for the next 4 or 5 years, 6 years maybe, who knows. We've got the perfect location for them picked out too. Not too far from a little bit of water, so my logs will never get dried out. And because I'm the kind of guy that likes to stack and unstack and restack log piles, I think mushrooms were like, maybe I was made to do mushrooms. We'll find out what kind of a mushroom farmer I actually am here in a little bit, but this is the most important part. Like, you're not going to harvest any corn if you don't plant any corn, and you're not going to harvest any mushrooms unless you get started. I'm sure there's a zen to this part of the job, but I haven't found it yet. So the shi in shiitake is the tree, is the Japanese tree that these mushrooms were originally cultivated on. And the take is the mushroom, is the word for mushroom in Japanese. So, tree mushroom. The thing that really excites me is the fact that, you know, we're growing these on our own logs right here, cut right off the property. And the vast majority of shiitake mushrooms that you buy in the store are grown on sawdust. So having mushrooms that are grown on wood, especially wood from right here, the whole thought of that excites me. I'm sure there's going to be a different flavor compounds going on having them grown directly from trees, from logs. Almost done. Got a few more left to go. I guess this part doesn't really take all that much time. I think that's all of them. Double check, make sure I didn't, oh, I missed one down at the end. All right, so now that I've got all the holes in the log filled with the sawdust spore, I'm going to take beeswax and seal all of these holes. So my wife conveniently said, go ahead and use this crock pot. I wanted to get a new one anyway. So I've just got a standard little chip brush here. And I found that if you're quick, you can go 1, 2, 3. Get some more wax. 1, 2, 3. That's about all you can get. Sometimes if you're really sneaky, you can get a 4th one, but and holding the log so that each hole is as close to 12 o'clock straight up and down as possible ensures that the wax stays in the hole where you want it. So the idea here is this seals the spore, seals the sawdust that you've just loaded into these holes, and helps keep the log from drying out too quickly. Helps the mycelium stay protected from any invasive fungi as well. A friend of mine is a beekeeper, and I'm gonna have to reach out to her. Her daughter actually is the beekeeper, but I might reach out to them and see if I can get some beeswax directly from them. It'd be nice to be able to source it as locally as possible. Because that's really what this is all about, isn't it? You know, the more you can feed yourself from the things that you can produce on the land around you, so one thing I've done also is I've painted over with the wax on any exposed wood that might provide a avenue for invasive species to penetrate the log. Seal those up too. So the thing about it is that the better job you do at this point, the better the log is going to provide for you down the road. If you take your time and do it right at this point, you're going to be harvesting mushrooms for 4 or 5 or 6 years, and that's just an incredible thing, you know. So the time invested right now, I'm trying to be patient and take my time and know that I'm doing the best job possible, because I think the rewards will just be there for a long time to come. So one other thing to do here. Paint the ends on the logs to seal those as well. And on the video from North Spore, you can see, oh darn it, drop my brush in the wax. It's the first time I've done that all day. I was doing so good, I thought this was going to be just about a perfect video as well. Anyway, seal the ends on the logs. On their video, they actually show some logs that are stacked up that have the wax across the ends of it, and it's really cool because you can see the mycelium growing underneath the wax. So I look forward to being able to see that. So there we go. One log all drilled, all inoculated, and sealed with wax. this should be providing, this log should provide a pound or two of mushrooms per harvest for the next 4 or 5 years. Awesome. Thanks for joining me.